Hello, this is Celeste and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to show you some cards I made using the March of 2019 My Monthly Hero Kit from Hero Arts. So the first card I made was using the reactive inks that came with the kit. I inked up the card, my card base, and then I stamped the Hero Arts Waves background die with the sea glass and give it a spritz of water and sprayed it down so you can see there's sort of a little bit of a blend going on there. And then the sentiment from the kit is the With Waves of Appreciation, and then I used some of the beautiful embellishments that came with the kit. Now when I finished making this card there was some ink left on my stamp, my background stamp, so I used that to stamp the background of this one. And then I had the shark and the divers swimming, just keep swimming. This is my dark humor card for this kit. It makes me laugh anyway. So my next humorous card, I love these little blowfish. So I stamped out the blowfish and then I used a fine line marker to draw in all of the spines on the blowfish. The good luck is from the Simon Says Stamp Great Things stamp set. And the inside says, "Don't blow it. Blowfish, don't blow it." So, and to do the lettering inside, I use the Concord and Ninth Bold and Brushy stamp set and the Perfectly Penned stamp set. Okay, the next card I have is a little bit more simple. So I blended in the inks onto the background. I used the Hero Arts sand embossing powder. Stamped out some of the coral, die cut that, stacked it up a little bit, and then I have the jellyfish that I stamped right onto my blended background using the white satin pearl embossing powder from Hero Arts. So next card, I used Distressed Oxides, the Blueprint Sketch, Faded Jeans, and on the very bottom is the Black Soot. Blended that in pretty heavy, and then I stamped my jellyfish using white pigment ink, the Hero Arts Unicorn ink, and I had to stamp that a couple times to get it to show up, and then I put some Kaleidoscope embossing powder on top of that. You can't really see it in the video, but it's shimmery and a little bit shiny. So, and then these little seaweeds on the bottom, or corals on the bottom, are from the Mermaid My Monthly Hero Kit from last spring. So I brought them out and worked with them together, and the stamp, the Seize the Day, comes from the Hero Arts Seize the Day Seagull kit. So, okay, my next card is using the specialty die that came with the kit. So I cut that out in black. And then I just did silhouette stamping, so everything is stamped in black. All of the fish. And if you can see those little bubbles there, those were actually a happy mistake. This ink is incredibly water reactive, and I use a water-based PVA glue. And my glue had gotten clogged, so I was trying to poke it, and a tiny little drop fell on the card. And so I was trying to rescue it, and I took a little paper rounding tool, and I scooped out the inside of the dot, and then just kind of smooshed it around and made it into a circle. And it ended up looking really cool, so I did it all over the card. And just to show you, that actually works on pretty much any dye-based ink. So this is Distress Oxides, this is regular Distress ink, this is Catherine Pooler, and this is Stampin' Up. So you can use that if you have a water-based glue. Just put a dot of it on, scoop the dot out, and then round it out, and you get a beautiful bubble that doesn't have that's not raised, so you can have it completely flat, and that's pretty awesome. So the next two cards really showcase these fabulous water reactive inks. So for this one, I actually took the inks and went direct to paper and just swirled them across the my watercolor paper, and then I spritzed it with water, let it dry, and it looked like this, which is just amazing. Then I put the sand embossing powder on the bottom. I did the sand castle with the sand embossing powder as well, and that's popped up on foam tape. And then I did the crabs and the seaweed, and I used some of the beautiful jewels that came with the kit, and the happy birthday is actually just from my stamp stash. So the next one is even cooler. I embossed the coral just with clear embossing powder onto my watercolor paper, and then I applied the inks with ink blending, and I gave them a spritz. And this time, they kind of look like what it does when you put salt on the wet ink. So that came out really, really cool. And for this, I I stamped and die cut some of the turtles and some of the fish, added a little bit of detail with ink to the fish, and get the "You Are a Fantastic Friend" sentiment on there. Okay, our next cards are our technical cards. So this one here is a trifold card. So the card opens up. Ta-da! So I die cut out using the specialty die from the front of my card front, and I put acetate on there because it's not really, the die, once it's die cut out, it's a little bit flimsy, so the acetate just keeps it supported so it doesn't get all bent out of shape. And then ink blended, stamped out a bunch of the fish, and did happy birthday fishes on there. Something else I figured out, if you use these dye reactive, water reactive inks on Bristol smooth cardstock, you can actually use an eraser and it erases the ink. So if you can see the wave lines in there, that's how I got those wave lines. So, and the next card is an inside out shadow box card. I will link to the Jennifer Maguire video with the technique on how to do this in my details for the video. So for the top of the card, I made the circle, I blended the ink in, and then used the sand embossing powder. Stamped in some stuff, did a sea anemone, a little fish, and then I put some the sequins on the outside, and I did a circle ring with my stitched circle cutting dies. Initially I didn't have that, but it looked kind of boring, so I added that and the sequins to it. And then that opens up to the inside out shadow box. So, and with this one, I just ink blended the background with the inks that came with the kit, and stamped out and cut out a bunch of the little critters. And for the little fish, I actually glued them to the die cut itself so that it gave it a little bit more dimension when you opened it up. So, okay, so that is the cards I've made with the kit so far. I hope you have enjoyed them. If you have, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and have a great day.